Okay, Ed found spiders and crickets in his storage room. So let's already just define our variables. We have spiders. We'll go S, crickets, a C, and the restrictions, what do we know? No negatives. Can we have 1.5 spiders? No. So spiders have to be whole numbers, right? And so same with crickets, whole numbers. Okay, there were 20 or fewer spiders. 20 or fewer spiders. So spiders, 20. What kind of inequality do you write when it says 20 or fewer? Less than or equal to. Crickets, there's a 20, and when I read it, it says 20 or more crickets. So that would be a greater or equal to. There were 45 or fewer crickets and spiders in total. So crickets and spiders total, what symbol to 45? It says 45 or fewer as the total. Less than or equal to. Which variable do you want to make as a y? Which one do you want to put on the y-axis? S. Okay, so we're committed to doing spiders up and crickets across. I'm going to do 5 ticks on each to represent going up to 50. Okay, spiders, 20, so that would be 2 ticks up. There's a line at 20, and I have to be less than, so I'm going to have to be under that line. And the crickets is 20, so that will be a straight up and down line at 20. And you're actually going to be on the right side of it. And then, how do you want to graph this line? Do you want to put it in your calculator? If we did, it would be, so this would be y equals 45 minus x. It'd be like that. If we move the c to the other side. I can't graph the vertical lines. I don't know a way of graphing those. I'm sorry. I should look that up. Yeah, I don't know how to graph that. Yeah.
What did you put into
45 minus x. I graphed the flat one, right? But I don't know how to graph this vertical one in the calculator. But that is on my list now to officially look up, can I ever graph just a vertical line? Because I don't know how to. Because obviously this calculator is y equals, and we don't have a y equals in that equation, so. Okay. You know what I also knew? They both had a y intercept of 45. I knew that, so. And on that line, we have to be below it. So the region that works would be this. It's not quite a triangle, right? I'm just going to draw some extra dots in there to show you that it's stippled, because I can only take the whole number of spiders and crickets inside that zone. Okay, let's get the intersections of these 4 coordinates. Do you see how it makes a shape? And then the corners of the shape. We need all corners of the shape. So this would be where there's 20 spiders, right? Because it's the flat line. It's on the flat line of 20 spiders. So if there was 20 spiders, how many crickets would I need? Because they would total 45 on that line. On the diagonal line, right? The diagonal line, they're adding up to 45. So that would be 25 crickets. So that's that coordinate. So what do I know on this spot? It's on the vertical line. What's going on the vertical line? And it's on the horizontal line. So what's going on that line? If it's on the vertical and the horizontal line, what's happening? 20 crickets, 20 spiders. Okay. What is going on this point? Do you remember where this hit the axis? 45 crickets and 0 spiders. Does that make sense at that point? And then what's happening at that spot? How many of each would you have? 20 crickets and 0 spiders, right? Okay, so we're going to talk about the number of legs. Spiders have 8 legs, so 8s plus crickets have 6 legs. I don't want that to look like a 5, that's an S. If spiders have 8 legs and crickets have 6 legs, that's how many legs I would have altogether. So we are going to plug in all 4 points that we got to see which point ended up being the highest. One of those points will be the highest. One of them will be the lowest I'm able to have. Okay, so 20S, 25C. Okay, so those are the 4 coordinates that we picked out from our graph. Okay, I think I can use some reasoning here to determine that between these two, this one should be higher than that one. Does that make sense? Do you see the math? Obviously this is 20, 20, and then this is 25 and 20. So this is obviously going to be higher than that. And these ones will be lower. So I'm thinking with my reasoning that this one will be the highest, so let's plug it in. 8 spiders, 20, plus 6 crickets equals 310 legs. Okay. And then I'm very confident that this one will be lower than that one, right? So I'm not even going to bother the math on that one because I can see mathematically 0 spiders plus 20 cricket legs means the lowest amount of legs is 120. Okay? All right, last question. A farmer. Okay, we are planting wheat and barley. So I'm going to define wheat with a W and barley with a B.
I think you got the highest one wrong.
What? Did I?
Because the highest one is 45 spiders.
I should test them all then. No, this is crickets though.
It's crickets? Oh.
But 6 times 45, I should test that though. Is that what you mean? 6 times 45? It's 270.
No.
So it's not high.
Dyslexic moment.
Did you put it as 45 spiders?
Yeah, I did
Yeah.
spiders.
That's why I was labeling everything because it happens. Okay, wheat and barley. What about the restrictions about wheat and barley? Do we need whole numbers? Can you do half acres of wheat? Is that okay? That's fine. You can do decimals. So we're not going to write whole numbers, but I think that we want to say we can't be negative. You can plant 0 acres of wheat. That works. Doesn't really make sense to say negative though. Okay, and you can have decimal amounts of wheat. That's fine. So that's my restriction. Okay, so here's the first one. He wants to plant no more than 1,000 hectares altogether. So the wheat plus the barley altogether, how do you say no more than 1,000? Less than or equal to. Okay, now the next sentence is this type of sentence. You have to do it backwards of what you read. Remember when I taught you that yesterday? So the farmer wants at least 3 times as many hectares of wheat as barley. So when you read it, you put the 3 on the opposite of what you read. So can you try to write that one? You have to put the 3 on the opposite of the words. Did we do it? He wants 3 times as much wheat as barley. So the wheat has to be 3B, at least. Okay, now we're ready to go. Which variable would you like to define as your y-axis variable? Which one makes more sense? I would put the wheat because of this equation. So then in my calculator, I can do that in my calculator. Y equals 3x, I can do that in my calculator. And barley. So what would you type in your calculator on this? So if this is y, I would go y equals 1,000 minus x, because I would move the b over. So there's my 2 calculator steps. And your axis, you probably want to go up to something past 1,000, by the way, when you graph it on your window. So your window needs to go past 1,000. Okay, so the zone where we would understand where to shade, we want it to be, so on this line, we want to be less than or equal to it. So I want to be this direction, less than that one. And on this line, I want to be greater than it. So what works for me? This zone, and I can't shade past because I can't go into the negative zone, right? So that would be the only thing that works in that zone, the triangle. So I'm going to get my intersection points. So this one is easy. That should just be 0, 0. So 0 wheat, 0 barley. And this coordinate is 1,000, and that would be the wheat, 0 barley. And this one, you can just get on your calculator, right? Because that one is on there. I got 250, comma 750. Is that what you're getting? 250x. So 250x and I got okay. 250 is x. So 250 in this one is what? Barley or wheat? 250 barley, 750 wheat. Okay, you ready? Now we have to do some farmer talk. So if your wheat averages 50 bushels, that's how much wheat you get. A bushel is how much volume per hectare. Then each bushel you sell for $5.25. So 50 bushels times $5.25, this is the wheat. Every hectare will make you how much money? every hectare of wheat would make that much money because your bushels times your price. Can you do the same with barley then? So this is stuff that I do all the time, but I know we don't talk hectares at home. We usually talk with acres. But so how much crop you get off with each acre at home, and then how, so bushels of it, and then how much price you get every bushel at the store. Okay, so did you do 38 times 361? So the money, so what should we call it? Profit, revenue? What do you want to do here? Profit. Your profit will be 262.50 W plus 137.18 B. How much money you make per wheat hectare? How much money you make per barley hectare? We're trying to get the most revenue possible. So can we already rule out this one? 0, 0 is not going to make you the most money. So which of these 2 points is going to make the most money? So if we did 1,000 wheat and no barley, how much money would you make? Okay, try the other point. So the other point says if you were to do 750 wheat and 250 barley, how much money would you make? So in the end, I was getting that the best option was just to go all wheat.